Hey everybody, welcome to Hope Soaps. My name's Angel and I'm your goat soaper, and today we are making a soap that is suitable for a baby's bottom. Literally, we're making a soap for my daughter who will be having a baby soon. Probably actually before this soap is actually cured, but it will be ready for her whenever baby does come, and so it's gonna be fun. So we got my soap notes here, and it's great for anyone who's making soap to have these, because when you're making soap you want to make sure that you're writing down what you're adding, how much you're adding, and it's good for you to reference while you're making the soap, and also afterwards you can reference it and figure out what ingredients you added that maybe you want more of or less of, or anything you didn't add that you might want to add. And it's going to be helpful for you on not just this recipe, but any recipes that you go forward making. Alright, so special ingredients that we'll be adding into this soap are going to be that it is going to be made with a 2-to-1 lye ratio. This is a chamomile tea, frozen goat milk soap. I've got bentonite clay here. I'm also adding some citric acid here because here in West Texas we have, we actually run off of well water here at our home, but West Texas is notorious for having hard water, and citric acid is great for helping to get rid of the soap scum that could come from using handmade soaps. And I've got a little bit of sodium lactate because this soap is heavy on olive oil, which is a very soft oil, and so this will help to harden it up and make it easier to cut by tomorrow. So this is going to be fun to make. I'm excited about making it because I'm going to be a grandpa, and that's totally awesome. So let's get to it. Okay, so since I've already pre-measured these ingredients out for the lye solution, we're going to go ahead and get that made up. I'm going to set my scale off to the side, and what I will do is I'm going to take the citric acid and mix that into the liquid. That way it dissolves together, and then we don't have a huge explosion when I start mixing up the actual whole lye solution here. Get your little spatula here. And it doesn't take long for it to dissolve. As you can see, it's already clear. So I'll pour the tea into my goat milk here. Set those to the side. Now, whenever you're using lye, okay, this is a very caustic material and it can burn you, so you want to make sure that you're using good lye safety. So you see I'm wearing gloves, okay? I'm going to pull my sleeves down. Alright, I've got a hat on so that I don't get hair into the mix here, and I'm going to switch out my regular glasses for some safety glasses, okay? Because you only get one set of eyes, and if this stuff splashes into your eyes, basically you need to go see an emergency physician right away. So we're going to mix this up, and we're going to do this nice and slow. Now, with the sodium lactate, or not the sodium, with the citric acid, okay, we have to adjust our lye solution because the citric acid eats up the lye. So we have to add more than what we normally would. So this is actually going to make our goat soap. So this is actually going to heat up and it could scorch our goat soap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a container to make an ice bath so that we can do this nice and cool moving forward here. Alright, so just like an athlete, our lye solution could use a little bit of an ice bath. So got that in there now. And we're still going to do this nice and slow. Because our solution is at 66.4. So we don't want to get it too hot so that it scorches the goat milk. Also, when you're making lye solution, it will have some fumes, even if you're using frozen, even if you're using ice. Like some people who don't do goat milk soap will use distilled water. So even if you're using frozen distilled water, you'll still get some fumes from the sodium hydroxide. Just make sure you're not standing over it and breathing it in. This is a pretty open room, so it's nice and ventilated. And yeah, so if you are not in a ventilated room, then you should probably move to some place where you are ventilated, and if you need to wear a respirator, do that too. But my suggestion is just be somewhere ventilated. Okay, that big chunk fell in there, so that's gonna get this thing going. Yeah, that bumped us up to 141. So we're gonna let that, we're gonna stir this and let this chill out for a minute. Alright, and then when I come back, we'll get to working on the actual hard oils and butters, because those are going to require some melting down. Okay, so we've got this lye solution all mixed up. So we'll set it aside and let it cool. In that, well, it's now a cold water bath. So now let's get into our actual oils and butters. I want to start off with our hard oils, or hard butters. So there's only a couple of them, and so we'll do some cocoa and some shea butter. Oh, and I put my cutting board away. Let me go grab it again. Okay, so it's easier to melt down the cocoa butter when they're in smaller pieces. Alright, so now we're going to add in this shea butter. This one has a lower melting point, so that's good. But I need something to cut this with. So, let me grab that. Alright, so, as always, you tear out the scale. That way it's at 0 and we know how much we're putting in. And go to town. So now we just gotta melt this down. Okay, so one day I'm gonna get myself a double boiler so that I can set that and forget it. But right now I've got these oils melted. So my hard oils are set aside and cooling off. My cutting board isn't necessary anymore.
No more cutting boards.
That's right.
We should start a riot.
Alright, and now we're going to get into our liquid oils, which there are only 2 for that too. So, it's a pretty simple recipe. Olive oil, we need a lot. Like I said, it's olive oil heavy. So finish off this jug. And dive into another. I think that's enough olive oil. Castor oil, which I need not as much by any stretch. Okay. And then I'm going to mix my hot oils into my cold oils. Now that I've got this weighed out, I can set my scale aside. Alright, done with that and that teeny tiny spatula. So we'll stir this around so that they play nice together. So that's got us at 82 degrees. Marley solution is sitting comfortably at 99 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and add my bentonite into my oils here. Plopped in there nicely. Give me a little whisk. Just kind of whisk it around in there. Take my lye solution here and my sodium lactate. Mix that in here. And get that all friendly together. Then we'll just guys all friends here. Whisk this around a bit. Set my whisk aside. And now, making a lot of noise, it's time to break out our friend, the stick blender, or the immersion blender, whichever. Now, because this is so heavy in olive oil, it does take a while longer to get to trace, but that's okay. If I was doing swirls and stuff, that would be fabulous. But since this is unscented and uncolored, I mean, it's taking a little bit longer to go to trace, which is fine. You know, I'll just put it in the mold when it's good and ready. I think we're at a really light trace still, so we're just gonna keep on blending. I got my mold ready to go. So, like I said, I'm gonna be a grandpa for the first time ever, so that's really exciting, and I wanted to do something special for my daughter, since this is her first baby, of course, and you know, if I had a special soap made for her baby shower that was nice and pumpkin scented, so I wanted to just do this special just for her. So I found a recipe online and decided I would modify it a little bit, and this is what we came up with. So we'll get this guy in the mold, and then we'll give it a cut tomorrow. Alright, so pouring over the spatula is a good way to keep from getting air bubbles. And we have got plenty of batter here. Okay, there we go. Got this going. So we'll see how it looks tomorrow when we cut it. See you then. Alright guys, well, thanks to the magic of video, we have made it to the next day, and I'm excited to cut this soap. Check this out. This is a beautiful soap, and I think that my daughter is really going to love it, and I think baby Atticus will too. Alright, so let's get this out of here. Look at that. Okay, so the sodium lactate in here did make it a little harder and easier to unmold, but it's only been 24 hours, so it's because it's so heavy in almond oil, it's still a little soft. So let's see how well this actually cuts. Silky smooth. Fabulous. It's got a little bit of the goat milk ammonia smell, but as this cures, that smell will go away. So let's just keep on cutting. So this is my special gift to her for her upcoming special day, to be able to know that her son is being bathed with a soap that was made with love, especially for him. I hope that you guys got inspired by this and that you guys are able to make some amazing soaps for your family and your friends, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.